Ever wondered what it's like to live shoulder to shoulder with thousands of people, where every inch of space counts? Let's kick off our countdown of the most crowded places people actually call home. Welcome to Hillbrow, a place where the skyline tells one story and the streets tell another. This neighborhood in Johannesburg, South Africa, is packed, complex, and full of contrast. Some call it dangerous. Others call it home. Just north of Joburg's buzzing central business district, Hillbrow crams somewhere between 74,000 to 100,000 people into a dense urban jungle of high-rise buildings. The exact number? Hard to pin down. The area's in constant flux. People arriving, moving, hustling, surviving. Back in the apartheid era, Hillbrow was actually a middle-class suburb, known for its modern towers and progressive vibe. But when segregation ended in the early 90s, the neighborhood shifted fast. Many of the original residents moved out, and Hillbrow became a magnet for migrants from across Africa, all chasing a better life in South Africa's biggest city. But with new faces came new challenges. Overcrowding skyrocketed. Once pristine buildings fell into neglect. Apartments were chopped into micro-units, pushing the limits of how many people could live in a single high-rise. And yes, crime became a serious problem. Hillbrow gained a reputation as one of Johannesburg's toughest neighborhoods. But here's where it gets interesting. Despite the struggles, Hillbrow pulses with life. It's got energy. Street vendors line the sidewalks. Music blasts from windows. It's chaotic, but it's real. People here are building lives, forming communities, and doing what they can with what they've got. Sure, infrastructure is stretched thin, and public services are under pressure. But change is coming. Community-led programs, redevelopment plans, and youth initiatives are all aiming to turn Hillbrow around into not just a place to survive, but a place to thrive. So, let me throw this one to you. Could a neighborhood once written off as too far gone make a comeback? Is Hillbrow a cautionary tale, or the beginning of a comeback story? Let me know what you think in the comments. If you've never heard of Aduganal, also known as Ajeromei Felodun or just Arom Elan, to locals, you're about to meet one of Nigeria's most crowded, chaotic, and culturally electric neighborhoods. This area isn't just packed, it's pulsing with life. Nestled in Lagos State, this place is often called the land of wealth, but not because of glittering skyscrapers or billionaire mansions. No, its richness comes from something else. Its people, its hustle, and its unmatched vibe. With the Lagos Lagoon to the north and the Apapa Industrial Zone to the south, it's wedged right in the middle of Nigeria's economic engine. Back in 2006, the population here was clocked at around 684,000. But let's be real, Lagos has exploded since then. These days, locals say it's closer to 1.2 million and rising fast. And if you've ever walked through its bustling markets or winding streets, you'd believe it. The homes are tight, the energy is high, and every inch is used. But here's what makes this place really stand out. The culture. Aduganal is the birthplace of Aduganal sound, a gritty, rhythmic blend of reggae, dancehall, and Nigerian beats. It's where stars are born. Some of Nigeria's most legendary musicians and footballers started right here, in packed compounds with nothing but talent and drive. Of course, high population density brings its problems. Water, sanitation, and healthcare can be stretched thin. Schools are overcrowded. Clinics work overtime. But ask the locals, and many will say it's still a step up from the rural villages they came from. It's loud, it's tough, but it's full of opportunity. So here's the real question. Would you trade space and comfort for energy and potential? Could you handle life in one of Africa's most dynamic districts, where the grind never stops and the rhythm never sleeps? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and maybe tell us who your favorite Nigerian artist is while you're at it. Jalassi, in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Now, imagine a hillside packed with colorful houses stacked like Lego blocks. That's Jalassi. It's not just vibrant, it's bursting with life. Somewhere between 50,000 and 80,000 people squeeze into this compact neighborhood, making it one of the most densely packed places in all of Port-au-Prince. Think your morning commute is tight? Try navigating narrow paths with thousands of neighbors doing the same. Over the years, Jalassi has exploded in size, thanks in part to people moving from rural areas looking for better opportunities. But with growth came chaos. Many homes were built without official planning, so infrastructure? Pretty much DIY. Clean water, proper sanitation, stable electricity? It's hit or miss. But here's a twist. In 2013, the Haitian government decided to give the neighborhood a facelift, literally. Inspired by the bold, bright art of Haitian painter Préfet Defot, they splashed vivid colors across house exteriors. The project, called Beauty versus Poverty, turned the hillside into a visual masterpiece. Tourists loved it. But residents? They're still battling everyday challenges, like overcrowded schools, limited healthcare, and not enough access to basic services. And yet, here's the part that sticks with you. Despite everything, the people of Jalassi have built something stronger than brick and mortar: community. When disaster strikes, they help each other. When services fail, they step up. It's not just a crowded place, it's a living, breathing network of resilience. Could you live in a place like Jalassi? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Would you trade space for community? Let's talk about it. Think New York is crowded? Well, Yorkville takes it to a whole new level. Sitting right on Manhattan's Upper East Side, this neighborhood is officially the most densely populated spot in all of North America. Yup, number one. But here's the twist, it doesn't feel like it. Yorkville is sandwiched between 79th and 96th Street, stretching from 3rd Avenue all the way to the East River. Nearly 880,000 people call this compact slice of the city home. That's more people than some entire cities, all packed into one vibrant stretch of Manhattan. But instead of claustrophobia, you get charm. Think historic brownstones with tree-lined streets, pre-war buildings with old-school flair, and sleek high-rises that scream modern luxury. It's a mashup of styles, and somehow, it just works. Back in the day, Yorkville was the definition of a melting pot. Germans, Hungarians, Czechs, and Irish immigrants made this their home, and you can still feel their influence everywhere. You'll pass by old-school spots like Schaller and Weber, a classic German butcher shop, or catch a performance at the Bohemian National Hall, keeping Czech culture alive and kicking. Of course, with Central Park just a stone's throw away, Yorkville's no longer the affordable immigrant haven it once was. These days, it's got more of a luxury vibe, but it hasn't lost its soul. Walk down 2nd or 3rd Avenue and you'll find cafes buzzing, shops open late, and bars filled with locals swapping stories. It's busy, but not overwhelming, more bustling community than urban jungle. And let's not forget the transit. Subways, buses, you name it. Yorkville is incredibly well connected, which makes sense considering how many people live there. So here's the big question. Could you handle living in North America's most crowded neighborhood without losing your mind? Or would the city's constant hum drive you crazy? Hit the comments and let's hear your take. Yorkville dream or Yorkville scream? Ever wondered what it feels like to live in one of the busiest, most buzzing neighborhoods on earth? Welcome to Lalbagh in Dhaka, Bangladesh. And trust me, this place is next-level crowded, but also full of charm. Picture this: ancient Mughal history colliding with the chaos of 21st century city life. At the heart of it all, the Lalbagh Fort, a half-built, centuries-old fortress that's as iconic as it is mysterious. But the real story here isn't just about historic walls. It's about the 200,000+ people packed into this vibrant corner of Dhaka. Now, Dhaka itself is one of the most densely populated cities in the world, so it makes sense that neighborhoods like Lalbagh are teeming with energy. Every street is alive. You'll see vendors balancing baskets of fruit on their heads, stalls stacked with colorful clothes, and enough street food to make your mouth water from a mile away. Ever tried fuchka while dodging a rickshaw? That's peak Lalbagh. And here's the twist. Despite the insane population, Lalbagh actually offers solid infrastructure compared to similar areas. We're talking respected schools like Lalbagh Government Model School and College, as well as madrasas and private institutions that educate the next generation. Healthcare? You've got government clinics and private hospitals lining the streets, offering real options for the people who call this place home. Of course, it's not all smooth sailing. Traffic jams? Constant waste management? A work in progress. And during monsoon season, flooding turns some roads into mini canals. But locals here are used to rolling with the punches. There's a resilience in Laobac, a rhythm to the madness, that makes it more than just a crowded place. It's a heartbeat of Dhaka. So tell me, could you handle life in a neighborhood where every day feels like a festival, a workout, and a history lesson all at once? Let me know in the comments, would you thrive in Laobac, or are you more of a wide open spaces kind of person? San Andres in Manila isn't just crowded, it's packed to the max clock. This district might be small on the map, but with around 144,000 people squeezed into its narrow streets, it's the most densely populated area in the entire city. So why do so many people choose to live here? Simple: location, location, location. San Andres sits in a prime spot within Manila. It's walkable, it's connected, and its grid-style streets are always buzzing with activity. From pedestrians to jeepneys, tricycles to street vendors, this place is alive 24/7. The housing here is a blend of the past and the present. You'll see everything from traditional Bahay Kubo huts to modern condos all cozied up next to each other, like a living museum of Filipino life. And because space is tight, everything is close. Need groceries? A snack? A quick meal? You're never more than a few steps from a vendor selling turin, fresh fruit, or household essentials. But San Andres isn't just about food and foot traffic. It's also a hub for education and spirituality. You'll find schools, both public and private, tucked into almost every corner, and churches and religious centers offering spaces for community and reflection. Of course, packing so many people into such a small area comes with challenges. Infrastructure is stretched, and open space is nearly non-existent. But despite all that, San Andres thrives. It's the kind of place where neighbors know each other, festivals light up the streets, and community spirit runs deep. So here's something to think about. Could you live in a place where the city never sleeps, where every inch is lived on, and life bursts out from every alley? Or would the energy be just a little too much? Let me know in the comments. San Andres, urban chaos or community paradise? Ever felt lost in a crowd? Now imagine living in a place where the crowd never ends. Mong Kok, Hong Kong. This place isn't just packed, it's legendary for how insanely dense it is. Get this, around 130,000 people per square kilometer. That's like squeezing the entire population of a small city into a single block. And the total number of residents? Over 200,000, living, working, and navigating a neighborhood that never sleeps. Mong Kok is chaos in the best way. Picture neon lights, sizzling street food, and shop signs stacked so high you forget the sky exists. It's a wild mix of old and new. Towering glass skyscrapers rise above gritty alleyways and traditional buildings. You could be grabbing bubble tea in a futuristic mall one second and haggling for sneakers in a street market the next. Housing here? Well, let's just say cozy is an understatement. Ever heard of Crucible Apartments? They're teeny-tiny units, often carved out of larger flats. Sometimes entire families live in spaces smaller than your bedroom. Seriously, could you survive in a flat the size of a parking space? But Mong Kok isn't just residential, it's one of Hong Kong's biggest commercial hotspots. Shops, cafes, game arcades, night markets, you name it. The energy is non-stop, like the whole neighborhood is running on caffeine. And getting around? Mong Kok's MTR station is one of the busiest in Hong Kong, connecting people to every corner of the city. Throw in buses and minibuses weaving through the madness, and somehow, just somehow, it all works. So here's the question. Would you thrive in a place that never hits pause? Or would the constant buzz drive you up the neon walls? Let me know in the comments. Could you handle Mong Kok? Imagine living in a place where the ocean's at your doorstep, but so are poverty, overcrowding, and constant risk from the elements. That's West Point, our number 12 pick, an intense, resilient neighborhood right in the heart of Monrovia, Liberia. Now picture this, a narrow strip of land wedged between the roaring Atlantic Ocean and the Mesurado River. Sounds like a scenic beach destination, right? Well, not exactly. West Point is one of the largest informal settlements in the country, packed with around 75,000 to 80,000 residents, all squeezed into a space barely big enough for a stadium. That's density on a whole new level. Most homes here are built from whatever materials people can find: wood, sheet metal, anything that holds. Infrastructure? Bare minimum. Many areas lack proper sanitation, reliable electricity, or even safe drinking water. Yet, in the middle of all that, there's a pulse, a powerful community spirit that refuses to be broken. People here hustle hard. Fishing, street vending, trading, you name it. The local markets are alive with color, sound, and the smell of fresh catches from the ocean. It's a gritty kind of beauty, built on pure resourcefulness and grit. But the challenges are huge. West Point's geography makes it a disaster waiting to happen. Floods, coastal erosion, and rising sea levels are constant threats. Add in health crises, like past outbreaks of cholera and Ebola, and you've got a neighborhood that's been through the ringer. Still, West Point isn't giving up. NGOs, community leaders, and even government programs have stepped in, trying to improve healthcare, education, and sanitation. And here's the powerful part. A lot of the real change has come from within. Locals have banded together, led their own initiatives, and slowly, steadily, started making things better. So now the question's on you. Could you thrive in a place where the odds are stacked sky high? Or would the waves, the crowds, and the chaos be too much to handle? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Is West Point an example of survival or something more? Ever wondered what it's like to walk through a sea of gold, literally? Welcome to Jhaveri Bazaar in Mumbai, India, where the streets shine as bright as the merchandise. This place isn't just crowded, it's legendary. Right in the heart of Mumbai, Jhaveri Bazaar is the beating heart of India's gold and diamond trade. In fact, around 65% of all gold trading in the country happens right here. Think about that. More gold flows through these narrow lanes than almost anywhere else in India. It's like Wall Street, but for jewelry. This place has been glittering since the 19th century, and over time, it's transformed into the ultimate hotspot for everything shiny: gold, diamonds, precious stones, you name it. But it's not just the jewelry that's packed. The people? Even more so. Jhaveri Bazaar isn't just dense, it's Mumbai's most densely populated zone, tucked into the city's ultra-crammed sea ward. On any given day, the streets are buzzing with shopkeepers, gem traders, customers, suppliers, and of course, curious tourists. And let me tell you, it's not just shopping. It's a show. Horns honking, deals being made in hushed tones, crowds weaving through lanes barely wide enough for a scooter. It's chaotic, it's electric, and it's very Mumbai. But all that gold and bustle comes with challenges. Security is tight, traffic is wild, and space? Practically non-existent. Infrastructure struggles to keep up with the crowds and the value of what's being traded. And yet, despite all this, there's a vibe here you can't replace. Any modernization effort has to walk a tightrope, improve things, but don't kill the magic. So here's a thought. Would you want to live or work in a place where the sidewalks are paved in gold, but the crowds never stop coming? Is Jhaveri Bazaar a glittering dream or a claustrophobic hustle? Drop your hot takes in the comments. I want to hear it. On our list is Mbaba, Cairo, Egypt. And folks, this place holds the record for being the most densely populated city subdivision on the planet. So, buckle up because this neighborhood is packed, and I mean packed. Located in the northern part of Giza, just a stone's throw from the ancient pyramids, Mbaba is home to nearly 1.2 million people living within just 3.2 square miles. That's about 460,000 people per square mile. Now, if you've ever wondered what it feels like to live in one of the most bustling, vibrant, and crowded places on Earth, this is it. Imagine streets constantly buzzing with activity, where long-established families live side by side with newcomers who flocked here in search of work and a better life. And let me tell you, the people in Mbaba have made it work. Small businesses thrive, street vendors are everywhere, and the markets are always packed with fresh produce, clothes, and just about anything you can imagine. It's not just a shopping trip, it's a community celebration. Ever tried to haggle for some fresh fruit while dodging a crowded street? That's a typical day in Mbaba. But here's the twist. While it's alive with energy, the rapid population growth in such a small area has created some serious challenges. Traffic jams are a daily grind, waste management? Well, let's just say it's a work in progress, and public transportation is far from ideal. And then there's the issue of housing. People often have to squeeze into densely packed, informal settlements, which can be precarious. When it comes to education, things are a mixed bag. Yes, there are schools, but overcrowding is common, and the quality can vary. That said, the government is working hard to upgrade the infrastructure, new schools, better services, and hopefully, in the near future, a new capital city will help take some of the pressure off places like Imbaba. But despite the challenges, the people of Imbaba are resilient. They make it work, and they make it thriving. Could you imagine living here? Let me know what you think in the comments. Would you survive the chaos of Imbaba, or would you be ready to move out after a day? And don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed this tour of one of the most crowded places on Earth. Thanks for watching, and a huge shout out to our channel members. You guys rock. See you next time.